What is going on, people? This is your boy Say One History, and you are watching The Male Perspective. I wanted to jump on this immediately here. I actually have the Romanian court hearing going on right now for Andrew and Tristan Tate. And I wanted to play this for you and just kind of give my perspective on what's going on. Yes, the show is brand new. If you were wondering, I came out the woodworks here. And we are going to jump into it. So I am going to play this video and we're just going to follow along here and see what's going on with this. So let's go.
States, and I'm representing Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate alongside the Romanian legal defense team. We were in court this morning where the defense team made extensive legal arguments.
Am fost la Curtea de Apel astăzi, unde echipa apărării a făcut demersuri majore,
pointing out the lack of evidence against the Tate brothers.
În care s-a pus în discuție ca motiv principal lipsa probelor în cazul fraților Tate.
And then Andrew and Tristan took turns each addressing the court, and they were both very forthcoming.
Andrew și Tristan au dat declarații pe rând în curte și la Curtea de Apel și au fost niște declarații importante.
As they have been throughout this entire investigation, and they asked the court for their freedom based on the lack of evidence against them and the lack of any criminal history that neither of them has.
Ei și-au cerut drepturile de eliberare din arestul preventiv pe baza lipsei de probe și pe baza lipselor.
So I just want to go ahead and speak on this. They have no prior criminal records whatsoever, and on top of that, they have no very lack of information, credible evidence actually supporting that they even done this at all. A lot of the media, a lot of the people around the world, because of the shenanigans that's been going on within the U.S. media and quite frankly, worldwide media, to be honest with you, believe that he's guilty, believe that Andrew and Tristan Tate are actually guilty. Now, I don't believe that at all for one bit. I've been following this ever since it happened. I'm a big fan of Andrew and Tristan Tate here. And I just really feel like there are more powers that be that are at play here. And he is delivering a really big dose of medicine to the male population and anybody that'll actually listen. I mean, be better. Get yourself up to par. Take care of yourself. Eat healthier. Get fit. You know, he inspired me. So, yeah, let's move forward here and see what else is at play.
Lipsei antecedentelor penale.
There were also additional factors mentioned, one of which is the fact that Tristan has a new 3-week-old baby who he has never met because he's been...
Just a second, Tina, because I need to remember. Au mai fost menționat și au mai fost aduse și alte argumente, ca de exemplu faptul că Tristan are un copil de 3 săptămâni pe care nu a avut oportunitatea să-l întâlnească încă.
Because I was going to say he's been in custody, the brothers have been in custody longer than his baby has even been alive.
Pentru că frații Tate au fost, sunt în arest de mai de mult timp, adică nu a apucat să-și cunoască copilul pentru că a fost arestat înainte, a fost reținut înainte de a-și putea cunoaște copilul.
We are now awaiting a decision by the court, and we are hopeful that they will do the right thing and let the Tate brothers out of custody.
Așteptăm încă decizia curții, speram să avem un răspuns până acum, dar cum știți foarte bine, nu se poate anticipa ora la care vom avea rezoluția.
The sad thing is that people don't even realize that they don't have any evidence against them. People don't even know that, you know. So that's another thing that's I have to say pretty fucked up. But anyway, moving forward.
Suntem optimiști și avem încredere că sistemul își va face treaba.
It's no secret that the Tate brothers are controversial public personas.
Nu e un secret că frații Tate sunt persoane publice controversate.
But this is not about their public persona and whether you agree with their viewpoints or not.
Dar aici nu este vorba de personalitatea lor publică, este vorba de persoane private și nu este vorba de a fi de acord cu punctul lor de vedere sau nu. Aici este o chestiune legală.
This is about the violation of international human rights and the due process of law.
Se pune în discuție respectarea drepturilor internaționale și violarea drepturilor internaționale a unei persoane și de procedurile legale care se aplică în cazul de genul acesta.
So far, the system has failed.
Până acum, sistemul nu a funcționat cum trebuie.
Look, she didn't even want to say it.
The Tate brothers, who are both U.S. citizens, have been in jail for over 30 days now without bail and without any charges being filed against them.
Frații Tate sunt în arest de au fost reținuți de peste 30 de zile, fără să li se ofere posibilitatea de a posta cauțiune sau de a fi eliberați condiționat.
And again, Tina, can you repeat the last part? Without bail?
Without bail and without any charges being filed against
Și
them.
foarte important, fără ca acuzațiile să fie formulate împotriva lor. Deci, deocamdată nu au fost puși sub acuzare, sunt doar reținuți într-o anchetă.
This investigation started in April of last year, and the fact that today is February 1st and no charges have been filed in the 10-month period should speak volumes as to the state of the evidence.
Faptul că această investigație, această anchetă a început din aprilie și suntem acum în februarie, deci este aproape un an de când a început această investigație și totuși nu au fost puși sub acuzare, spune foarte multe despre probele existente în momentul de față în dosar.
The continued detention of the Tate brothers under these circumstances is a violation of international human rights law and of the EU guidelines, and Romania obviously is a member of the EU.
În momentul de față, reținerea și prelungirea arestului preventiv, noi considerăm că constituie o violare a drepturilor umanitare internaționale, atât în ceea ce privește legislația internațională, cât și legislația României, care în mod cert face parte din Uniunea Europeană și se supune regulilor și regulamentelor din Uniunea și legislației Uniunii Europene.
So despite what anyone's viewpoint might be as to the Tate brothers, and if they agree or don't agree, everybody should be concerned about this global issue.
Noi considerăm că este o chestiune globală și indiferent de părerea personală pe care o are cineva, dacă rezonează sau dacă nu rezonează cu stilul de viață al fraților Tate, cu felul în care ei își expun viața și aleg să-și trăiască viața personală, aceasta este o chestiune de interes global în ceea ce privește și creează un precedent în ceea ce privește violarea drepturilor omului.
My firm has joined the Romanian legal team because we want to ensure that our citizens are protected when they're abroad.
Firma lor, firma pe care Tina o reprezintă, a decis să se alăture that's great. A decis să se alăture echipei din România pentru că vor să se asigure că cetățenii americani sunt protejați cum trebuie și că le sunt respectate drepturile cât ei se află pe teritoriul unei alte țări, indiferent dacă aceasta este România sau orice altă țară.
And we will continue to fight to get the Tate brothers out of custody and home where they belong.
Și vom continua să luptăm pentru a-i scoate pe frații tăi din arest și pentru a-i aduce acasă unde ar trebui să fie în momentul de față.
And now I can take some questions.
Puteți adresa întrebări?
Hello, hi, Lucy Williams from BBC News. Just a couple of questions for you. Could you just explain a bit more about the violation of international human rights law, how you see the case? And also, Andrew Tate has said himself that he has multiple passports. And I just wanted to clarify how many different nationalities of passport he actually has.
So, to answer your question, there are due process rights, especially for pretrial detention. In this case, there aren't charges yet, so it's considered a preventative detention. And so you're supposed to have the least restrictive alternatives imposed. And there's no doubt that incarcerating and jailing someone with no bail is the harshest sanction you could impose. And the
Absolutely.
circumstances here don't warrant it, where there's no charges, they have no prior criminal history, and the government is always in a position to take away passports and to impose any conditions, whether it's house arrest or other forms of supervision, to make sure the person doesn't flee. Again, I don't believe they're a flight risk. They've known since April that there was an investigation. If they intended to flee, they've had 10 months. They could have left Romania. They have not. They have ties here to the country. As I gave one example, Tristan has a newborn baby who's Romanian, who's here. And so there's absolutely no indication that they're a flight risk.
Stupid. About the passports as well. How many different passports?
I actually am not in a position to answer that question right now.
She knows.
Given the serious allegations against the Tates, Andrew,
It's almost like she want to smile, but
as well as evidence which the police say was seized at the villas, including weapons such as guns, knives, and stacks of cash. How safe is it for these men to be released? And secondly, can you just clarify the information given to you by the judge?
Andrew's actually
why
there with them.
so
I don't know
far
if you
they
can see.
haven't been released?
To answer the first part of your question, of course, once even charges are filed, they're presumed innocent. In this case, there's no charges that have even been filed. So to talk about the seriousness of the allegations, of course, they're very serious crimes. Nobody disputes that. But there is insufficient evidence that they've committed these crimes because they haven't even been charged, and the police have had ample time. They've been investigating since April. They've basically had these men under surveillance this entire period, and they haven't charged them with a single crime. So they've been in jail now for over 30 days without so much as a single criminal charge against them.
And in terms of why the judge has explained so far why they haven't been released, what evidence have you told that?
We feel that there's outside pressures and that this is not based on the actual evidence because, again, the evidence is very weak, and if there was any evidence, we believe they would have been charged by now.
What kind of outside pressures are you referring to?
There's an ongoing investigation at the moment, so there's certain things I'm limited to saying, so I don't want to address that right now, but in due time, we will be speaking about that.
The hearing are.
And keep in mind, you guys, all this actually started, back, I want to say it was middle of 2002. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. But this was started by an American girl, an American woman, who was actually flew out to Romania by Andrew Tate. And what ended up happening is the girl was partying with Andrew and Tristan Tate. She posted on her Instagram that, she was partying, that she was having a good time, posting videos up. And it just so happened her boyfriend back in the state actually saw the video. And he had called her, asked her what was going on. She couldn't tell the truth. She was basically going to be, put on blast here. So she lied to her boyfriend and told him that, Andrew and Tristan Tate were holding her against her will. And he called the consulate, the Romanian consulate, and said that his girlfriend was being held against her will. And this is how all of this began. Excuse me. This is why I'm just so adamant and just not messing with American women. I'm sorry. It's just too... It's just too dangerous. It really is. Anyway, let's move forward.
Yes.
Întrebări de la presa din România.
You talked about the U.S. citizens' rights, but we know the
Can you please
investigation...
introduce yourself? Sorry. Can you please introduce yourself?
Valentin Stan, Digi24, Romanian television.
Oh, okay. If you're Romanian television, you can speak in Romanian and I will translate.
Ok, vorbea despre drepturile cetățenilor americani. Știm că ancheta a început în momentul în care Ambasada Statelor Unite ale Americii a emis o alertă cu privire la...
So regarding the ongoing investigation, they know that the inquiry started once the American embassy
a emis o alertă.
Has alerted. A emis o alertă
cu privire la răpirea a două fete din Statele Unite ale Americii care s-ar fi aflat la reședința fraților Tate.
Oh yes, so when they were alerted that two girls from the United States have been kidnapped and they were at the Tate residence.
Mm-hmm.
And we reject those allegations. We don't think there's absolutely any evidence of that. There has been made public certain evidence. Again, as an attorney, I don't want to speak as to the facts of the case since there is an ongoing investigation. But sure.
Thank you. Da, deci au fost, ne respingem aceste acuzații. Probele încă nu susțin 100%. Ancheta este în continuare desfășurată și nu s-a hotărât încă validitatea acestor probe în ceea ce privește această acuzație și această alertă.
But there is information already in the public domain. There's videos online that dispute these allegations. And the only evidence that I've seen other than the allegations are exculpatory for the Tate brothers.
Singurele probe nu sunt suficiente, singurele probe existente și deja există destul de mult material online și în presă care contestă aceste acuzații într-un mod informal.
Cum vede faptul că alerta a fost trimisă chiar de către Ambasada Statelor Unite ale Americii?
How does the team see the fact that it's actually the US Embassy that has alerted the Romanian authorities?
I think the U.S. Embassy has a duty to pursue any sort of complaint. And so I think if the embassy alerts authorities, that's what it's supposed to do if it receives a complaint. I don't think that goes to the credibility of the allegation, nor does it mean that it's true. They're just doing their job.
Nu considerăm faptul că deci noi nu considerăm că această alertă constituie o incriminare a fraților Tate. Ambasada, ca și alte autorități, are obligația să se sesizeze în momentul în care primește o plângere de această natură și serioasă, atât de serioasă. Și atunci asta nu demonstrează în niciun fel vinovăția sau nevinovăția. Ci ei au doar obligația să sesizeze organele competente.
And the embassy is not in a position to investigate.
Iar ambasada nu are competențe de investigare, după cum bine știu.
Aș mai avea o întrebare, dacă se poate, cum vede doamna avocat, din punctul de vedere al unei femei, informația conform căreia fetele erau obligate să se tatueze cu sintagma deținută de Tate.
So, as a woman attorney and as a career woman,
Yes.
probably they're hinting at feminism as well. How do you see the fact that the girls working for the Tate brothers were obliged, it's the allegation, it's not the fact, it's the allegation that the girls working for the Tate brothers were obliged to wear the tattoo, to wear that, that mark, if you want to say.
Again, we dispute the allegations. The brothers vehemently deny the allegations, and so I've seen no evidence to support that allegation. And
Din nou, aceste probele existente și frații nu au fost puși sub acuzare, din nou vorbim despre speculație. Noi acum speculăm că asta s-a întâmplat, dar la fel de bine putem să speculăm și că nu s-a întâmplat. Până când organele competente nu vor ajunge la o rezoluție, prezumția de nevinovăție primează.
Laurențiu Rădulescu, Antena 1, aș vrea să o întreb dacă dânsa este angajată direct de către frații Tate, se reprezintă în primul rând, și dacă se ocupă de o anumită parte a procesului, nu știu.
Ok, am înțeles. Care este structura echipei, practic? Ok. They want to, this is Antenna 1, they want to know if you are retained directly by the Tate brothers and what is your role within the legal team?
yes, my firm has been retained directly by the Tate brothers, and we will be assisting to the extent possible in Romania and for the foreseeable time being, and then we will advise beyond that.
Da, este angajată de către frații Tate și va asista în limitele legale în care legea din România și procedurile din România îi permit.
The Romanian government almost seems like they're pissed that Andrew and Tristan Tate actually, got an American lawyer. It's funny, and I don't want to speculate or make any, accusations, but, it's funny because the talk around, social media is that the U.S., had some kind of influence on getting them arrested. And I just find it, freaking ironic that, you have a U.S. lawyer that's helping them, So if that is the case and the U.S. government actually has something to do with them getting arrested, or at the very least, in influencing, or whispering in somebody's ear in the Romanian government, I find it ironic that, the right hand doesn't know what the left hand is doing. Or it could be that, the government doesn't want to get involved and reveal their hand, to this legal team that's from America. How could they without, blowing their cover? But anyway, let's move forward.
Însă știm că la al doilea mandat, la prelungirea mandatului de arestare, procurorii au spus că cei doi frați ar putea exercita un control psihic asupra victimelor.
Okay, stai să traduc, te rog, și după aceea. Okay, so she appreciates what you have said regarding the reduced flight risk of the Tate brothers. Poți să repeți în partea a doua a întrebării, te rog?
Atunci când măsura arestului preventiv a fost prelungită, procurorii au invocat motivul că cei doi frați pot exercita, citez, un control psihic asupra victimelor.
Okay, so when the first appeal against the brothers being retained been filed, the prosecutor's argument was that the Tate brothers can apply psychological pressures on the victim. What is your opinion about the prosecutor's statement?
It's a statement by the prosecutor. It's unsupported. Again, I emphasize the fact that we're February and they've been investigating since April. If they had sufficient evidence of that, if they had sufficient evidence of anything, they would have filed charges.
Not only that, and wouldn't that be tampering, with witnesses? I mean, I'm sure they got to have some kind of law like that out in Romania. So, by default or de facto, if the Tate brothers did get in contact with them in any sort of way and the Romanian government found out, I mean, they would have them dead to rights. So it would only make sense, if you want to, think 3 moves ahead here as far as the Romanian government is concerned, to let them go and actually hang them on their own selves if they thought they were guilty. But the thing about that is that these guys don't have any criminal record. They don't have any evidence against these guys. I highly doubt that the Tate brothers would be stupid enough to actually try to get in contact with these women who have accused them. And on top of that, these women haven't even accused them, at least 2 of them that I know of here, because 2 of them have went on Romanian television actually saying that we are not victims, saying that this is wrong, saying that they are still trying to, pit us as victims, and we keep telling them that we are not victims and that Andrew and Tristan Tate have done nothing wrong. But let's keep going.
Now, instead, they're just detaining them. They're prolonging the detention. They're hoping in the interim, while they're in custody, they find some evidence to keep them on something. But as we sit here today, there's no proof of anything, including that allegation.
Consideră ea că în situația în care există mai mult de 3 plângeri împotriva unor persoane, consideră că asta ar fi o problemă sau măcar un indiciu că ar fi o problemă?
Do you consider this is a subjective question? Do you personally consider that once somebody has more than 3 complaints against them filed, do you consider that to be like an alarm bell?
I don't, because I think there are certain people who put themselves in the public eye who are targets, who will have 3 or 5 or 20. because they have money, they have opinions, and they naturally make themselves a target. So I think it's expected when somebody's in the public eye, and we've seen this before with other clients, with celebrities. So I'm not surprised, and I don't think the fact that there's more than a few complaints means that there's strength in numbers. I don't agree with that.
Prin prisma faptului că ei sunt persoane publice, atrag un anume fel de atenție și acesta nu este un caz obișnuit și fiind atât de expuși, nu considerăm că este ieșit din comun să aibă mai mult de 3 plângeri, sau 3 plângeri sau mai multe, atâta timp cât aceste plângeri nu sunt substanțiate cu probe, atâta timp cât nu există nici măcar punere sub acuzare, există doar o suspiciune și există doar niște mărturii. La momentul acesta suntem în anchetă.
Da, dar știm că există 4 plângeri care nici măcar nu au fost investigate.
Asta nu este problema noastră, nu este de competența noastră, noi nu reprezentăm poliția voluntari. Dumneavoastră știți, din nou și acolo există o investigație. A fost o perchezie, există o investigație. Nu știm care sunt motivele. Nu putem să speculăm care au fost motivele pentru care acele plângeri nu au fost înaintate. Nu ține de noi.
Dacă această contestație de astăzi, care s-a judecat la Curtea de Apel, va fi respinsă, care este strategia de apărare mai departe?
Okay, so it's the question that we have anticipated. What is the strategy further down the line if the Tate brothers are not released today?
We intend to, I will consult with my Romanian legal counsel here, and we will take the next appropriate steps. I believe we'll be asking the court for bail to let them out on bail and other conditions, and we'll explore what other alternatives we have to make sure they get home.
În continuarea demersului vom face cerere de eliberare pe cauțiune, dar important este de știut din partea avocaților din România este faptul că noi am depus deja 2 cereri în vederea administrării probelor, pentru că partea apărarea fraților Tate încă nu, cererile noastre de admitere probe nu au fost încă soluționate nici până la ora aceasta. Deci noi intenționăm să cerem în continuare administrarea de probe. Asta este foarte important și așteptăm rezultatul de la percheziția informatică, care este foarte relevant.
Dacă se raportează atunci când vorbește despre punerea sub acuzare la sistemul de drept din Statele Unite, pentru că există o diferență față de sistemul.
Nu, se referă la sistemul din România.
În acest moment nu sunt puși sub acuzare, sunt deja inculpați.
So what she's saying is that at this moment there are charges pressed against the Tate brothers.
What charges?
That's what she is saying.
Tell me these charges.
No.
What charges?
She's asking whether you are judging from a U.S. law point of view or Romanian. And I
said
what charges? Tell me
correct.
What charges.
I'm saying this based on Romanian law, based on my Romanian legal defense counsel's consultation and their interpretation of what's been happening in the proceedings. As we sit here, there are no criminal charges. This is
right. Thank you.
Sunt cercetați, nu sunt obviniți.
This is.
Sunt cercetați la momentul de față, so they are not indicted, they are under investigation.
They're under this is a preventative detention
este
while
de arest preventiv.
Investigate.
În timp ce se desfășoară ancheta. Nu sunt inculpați. Nu există un dosar în care să fie inculpați. Ei sunt în investigație, în anchetă.
Okay, maybe one last question.
O ultimă întrebare?
Can I just ask a quick procedural question?
Sure.
Are you allowed to make arguments in court, or do you have to go through your Romanian defence team?
Correct, yes. I am not authorized under Romanian law to appear before the court and argue. I was present in court today observing the proceedings, and I could consult with my counsel, but I cannot argue before the court. Okay, maybe one last question?
And again, one last question from you and one last question from the Romanian press after that. Thank you. And somebody who hasn't asked questions before. Dacă e cineva care nu a pus întrebări până acum și dorește să pună întrebări? Okay, so then let's just go ahead.
Quickly, I know you said that you couldn't talk about the outside pressures, but it is very difficult to get any handle on what you're trying to say. Is there anything you can say about that, just to narrow that down a little bit?
Not at this time. I think you'll hear from us again soon, but we are waiting on the court's decision today, and we want to be respectful of the process.
And are you still expecting a decision today?
Yes, that's what we're told. We're hopeful that it comes today, yes.
The Justice avocații a declarat în acest dosar există persoane pe care procurorii le consideră victime și aceste persoane nu își îndreptă cineva, va susțin că ele nu au fost victimele primei infracțiuni. Întrebarea este cum au ajuns să fie victime în acest dosar dacă ele susțin că au fost abuzate sau...
So she's asking regarding the two victims that were declared by the prosecutors as victims in the files, but they are not. They have appeared on the media supporting
Right,
the Tates and
absolutely.
saying that they aren't
Thank you.
actually victims. The question is, how did they end up as victims in the investigation?
That's a great question.
Bună întrebare. Și noi ne întrebăm.
Deci nu este un răspuns.
She can't talk
That's my
about it,
response. It's a great question.
Yeah,
If
absolutely.
they've come forward and publicly said they're not victims, then it makes you ask yourself, why have they been listed as victims? And what's the state of mind of the other alleged victims?
Everybody needs to know about this. I got it. That's what I was saying. Okay, she obviously doesn't want to give any information, doesn't want to give any ammunition to the prosecutors in reference to the case here. So she's not going to speak on it, which is actually a good thing. It's a smart decision by the actual lawyer herself. But there's evidence, there's information out there that these two women have actually already put on the Romanian television networks saying that they are not freaking victims, saying that Andrew and Tristan Tate never did anything to them. But the American media is not putting this out. Any worldwide media is not putting this information out. They take these sound bites of Andrew and Tristan Tate completely out of context, trying to make them look like villains, and this is how they've been prosecuting them. They've been trying to prosecute them in the public eye, but I gotta give shout outs, man. Credit where credit is due. The guys over there at Fresh and Fit, everybody in the manosphere, the Red Pill, the Passport Bros, anybody I could think of have been talking about this and pushing this information in regards to this court case or this legal pursuing of the Tate brothers, and have been just spewing this evidence out, fighting the propaganda machine to get these guys out of jail. I mean, they've literally been in jail over 30 days for nothing. I was literally sitting there, holding my breath on, I think it was January 29th or 28th that they were actually supposed to be released, and never end up getting released in the first place. I thought that was horrible, to be completely honest with you. Because when I found it, I didn't even know that they can hold them for another 30 days. So I thought for sure that they were getting out. I thought for sure that there wouldn't be any other issues, but I was absolutely wrong about that. So now, and they can do that, I want to say up to 3 or 4 times. So they can be in there for, somewhere around like a total of 100 and some odd days, which is freaking ridiculous, man. I mean, come on. These guys aren't a flight risk. I think if they're out, they have the opportunity to actually give their side of the story, and it makes the Romanian government look ridiculous. So I don't have any more to say in regards to this. I think it's just completely ridiculous. I think the Romanian government literally needs to just lick their wounds and actually call this one a wrap, because at this point in time, the more they make this thing linger, the more they're just making themselves look stupid. They have nothing against Andrew and Tristan Tate. Let them boys go, because they've done nothing wrong. All they're doing is telling the truth. I think it's really sad when the truth is basically outlawed. The truth is actually put under scrutiny. And, you know, people that are peddling this propaganda in reference to these two are really just telling lies, man. That's what it is. I appreciate you guys watching. I'm on my way to the Philippines here in May. I'm going to make sure that I post a lot of videos in regards to my trip that's going to be out there. I really appreciate you guys. This is a new channel, man. I'm going to have more of this stuff coming up for you. So like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. That way you're updated for all new content that's going out. This is your boy, Say One History on The Awaken Show. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you for watching, and I will holler at you later. Everybody have a good night. Peace.